New year, new fragrances, guys. A boatload of new ones just announced. Where do we start? The info on the new Stronger With Yous has come out. There's a new Acqua di Gio that just got dropped. A new Forever Wanted fragrance from Azzaro, a new Le Beau from Jean Paul Gaultier, and of course I know what all of you are waiting for, a new Narciso Rodriguez. That one just doesn't quite hit as hard as the other ones, does it? But I know some of you out there love it, so we'll include that too. Hey friends, Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Today I'm sharing with you guys a bunch of the upcoming new fragrances that you have to look forward to. A lot of this info I got from iFragranceOfficial.com, check them out, linked in the description. And also a little late breaking news from Scent Report, which is on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, throw them a follow. Let's get started with the new Acqua di Gio, guys. This one just dropped on a Spanish retailer. Shout out to you, Alvaro. That website is perfumeriajulia.es. So this new Acqua di Gio, I talked about this a little bit before, but had no real information on it as far as the note breakdown or anything. I just had the name. And that new name is Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum Intense. Huh? Yes, yeah, that's what the new Acqua di Gio flanker is gonna be, Eau de Parfum Intense. As you can see, the new presentation style, a little bit closer to what you're gonna find with Acqua di Gio Parfum. A gradient with black up top, white toward the bottom there. And one very interesting thing that I see with this is this photo. So in this photo, there's the Eau de Toilette, there's the new Eau de Parfum Intense, and there's Profundo Eau de Parfum. But one thing that you will not see there, the existing Eau de Parfum. Now I'm not saying this is for sure what's going on, but what this makes me think is that Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum Intense is possibly just replacing Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. Which, if that is the case, then Acqua di Gio, I think hands down, becomes just one of the most confusing fragrance lines for most people nowadays. I can only imagine normal guys who don't keep up with every single announcement in the fragrance world going into Sephora every like 6 months, and just every time they go, the Acqua di Gio lineup is somehow changed and different. Different bottles, but the same names, but the fragrances are different. Or something that was there before and now replaced with something else. And Armani is just sitting over there pretending like, what? We're normal, we're not weird? Yeah. Constantly changing bottles, presentations, formulations, just everything else, man. And now I'm thinking, again, I could be wrong, this is just based off of this photo, that they're going to be changing it again. If they're not, then that means they're gonna have the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Parfum Intense, the Parfum, and the Elixir in that normal lineup. But let's get into the meat of what this fragrance is. Again, this is from perfumeriajulia.es. Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum Intense, a fragrance for men that elevates the iconic freshness of the original with deeper, more sensual contrasts. This perfume opens with a vibrant heart of bergamot and crisp green apple, leading to an invigorating blend of marine notes and aromatic clary sage. As it settles, the amber and woody accords create a warm and lasting trail that enhances the depth and longevity of the fragrance. It then goes on to say that you should apply it to pulse points, so that's good. It's good to know that. And that it's designed to offer long-lasting freshness with an intense masculine character that evolves beautifully throughout the day. Ideal for everyday use or special evenings, this fragrance offers a powerful yet refined olfactory experience. Now, if we compare that note breakdown to the original Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, a lot of differences. So the OG had green mandarin orange, marine notes, clary sage, geranium, lavender, vetiver, and patchouli. So the note breakdown is really, really different. There's not that much in common. You go from an opening of marine notes and mandarin orange to bergamot and apple. Now it does have clary sage and marine notes as it dries down in the mid here, so those marine notes carry over, the clary sage carries over. And then in the base here, amber and woody accords, it says, which, you know, put those together, amber woods. And look, I don't expect this to smell this way at all. It's just kind of a funny little thing. But if you look up why Eau de Parfum, it has citrus, bergamot, and apple off the top, amber woods in the base, and sage in the mid. Again, I'm not saying that it's gonna smell like why Eau de Parfum, I don't think it will, but I do wonder how much they're gonna change that Acqua di Gio DNA, because this is gonna be one of three things. Either A, they're gonna shift away from what's established as the Acqua di Gio DNA and try something new to hopefully get more sales and more interest in the line. Option B, they just do a slight tweak and then everybody goes, I don't really care about this, because how many times can you just slightly tweak the same DNA? Or C, something that takes that established DNA but twists it in a way that people find really interesting. Kind of like when Acqua di Gio Profondo first came out, a lot of people were like, oh, this is really good. So it's gonna be one of those. Let me know which one you think it's gonna be. Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum Intense. Let's talk next about Stronger With You Powerfully, just really quickly. So this one I talked about before, but it was basically from a Czech website, I believe it was. And it was just basically taking that and running it through a translator. But now this one is officially announced. Let's talk about it. Discover Stronger With You Powerfully, an addictive new fragrance that introduces a smoky dimension to the Stronger With You iconic scent, deepening its signature sugared chestnut accord with a powerful new level of intensity for up to 24-hour long lastingness. Holy crap. If that's for real, if this thing is like actually that powerful, which I guess they did name it that, it's either gonna be amazing or headache inducing. This powerful scent captivates with a vibrant opening of mandarin and cherry, an invigorating burst of lavender at its heart, and a rich, deeply addictive base built on a smoky and sugared chestnut accord duo, harmonized with a gourmand vanilla duo. I mean, not for nothing, but it sounds good. They say that the iconic bottle embodies a powerful new appeal, housing the smoky toned juice within intensified amber hue. They are driving home the smoky aspect in this write-up. Enigmatic smoky notes intertwine with the deliciously sweet, fruity facet and Stronger With You Powerfully, a scent that captures the quintessence of togetherness. There is just so much stuff written about this fragrance here. A fusion of exhilarating fruits opens the fragrance as fresh mandarin essential oil and refined lemon heart, both sourced in Italy, bring citrus and aromatic facets. And that invigorating, uplifting freshness strikingly contrasts with the addictive sweetness of a cherry accord. At its heart, the power of the fragrance is visibly amplified by a vibrant burst of aroma. The unmistakably invigorating lavender that we spoke about before anchors this core, while a woody spice accord lends harmonious sweetness and profound depth. And then into the base it says the iconic sugared chestnut accord powerfully fuses with the smoked chestnut accord, creating the scent's rich, smoky essence. A harmonious gourmand vanilla duo featuring vanilla bourbon from Madagascar and vanilla Absolute enriches the smoky chestnut and infuses it with a balsamic warmth. Whew! A lot of stuff there. So if we break that down, the whole note breakdown, mandarin orange, lemon, and cherry off the top, lavender and spices in the mid, smoked chestnut, vanilla bourbon, vanilla absolute, amberwood, and kind of a sugary chestnut they talk about as well. Whew! Stronger With You Powerfully is going to be either one of the most hyped fragrances of the year. If they pull it off, and they give you a smoky, rich, enticing, tart, sweet fragrance with a deep, rich balsamic vanilla that has become more and more popular. If they pull that off with 24-hour performance, you're not gonna be able to escape this year. If they screw it up, it's gonna be the biggest F up of the year. Because I guarantee you there are people hearing this right now. The performance, the note breakdown, the line that it comes from, and they're just thinking, this is it. And if Armani drops the ball, then ooh. And then there's Stronger With You Spices, which I talked about a while ago as well, and that one also officially announced. Right now it's available at Sephora Middle East, which means it's probably gonna follow the same kind of deal as the other flankers that were released this way. You know, Stronger With You Tobacco, Stronger With You Oud, all those, which basically means if you're in North America, you're gonna be looking for this at discounters. And if you want this, scoop it when it pops up, because these have a bad habit of going away and not coming back. Discover the new Stronger With You Spices, a new intense fougere ambery spicy scent encapsulated in a metallic terracotta toned bottle, evoking the sandy tones of desert dunes. A new sensual, spicy, and warm scent empowered by Stronger With You's iconic fougere ambery signature. The fresh spiciness emerges as the fragrance opens with citrus woody facets of black pepper extract. Amplifying this unmistakable heat is a heart defined by subtly bittersweet scent of a saffron accord, woven with a trio of hot spices and aromatic lavender essence. I love the lavender. Delicious and indulgent, the base unveils an addictive fusion of vanilla bourbon premium extract. I'm glad it's not the economy extract. So stronger with used spices, black pepper, lavender, saffron, and bourbon vanilla. Obviously they saved the really cool sounding note breakdown for the other one. Obviously though, I'm gonna be on the lookout for it. I'm gonna scoop it up as soon as I find it. Again, with these ones, a lot of times they'll be at discounters for like a month or two, and then they get to be a real pain in the butt to find. And I would assume, even though it's not really listed here, that it's still gonna have that chestnut kind of vibe, just with an amplified saffron. But thankfully I don't see any rose or oud here, so that's great. Saffron, rose, oud, the holy trifecta of I've seen that 62,000 times. Stronger with you spices and powerfully, let me know which one sounds better. Now something that just got announced that there is basically no info on, which I know you're like, well, that's great, why do I care then? But it's something that I think a lot of people are gonna wanna know about. It is from Jean Paul Gaultier. It is their new Le Beau, and it's called Le Beau Narcisse. So there is the new Le Male in blue, and we've talked about that one a couple of times already. This one though is part of the Le Beau line, has a really slick looking bottle, as you can see right here. Unfortunately, no real information on it just yet, just the name and the presentation. And this is again from Scent Report on Instagram. I will say the bottle looks slick. I think it looks really nice, really attention grabbing. The fragrance could absolutely rip. The only thing that makes me slightly trepidatious is that name, which Narcisse is a flower. And the previous version of Le Beau was Flower Edition. And I would say of the Le Beau fragrances, Le Beau Flower Edition is the one that people probably were least excited about. Like Paradise Garden, people were excited. Le Beau Le Parfum, the original Le Beau, yeah, people loved them. Flower Edition, which I think is good in actuality, but Flower Edition just didn't quite hit the same way. And so they're following that up with another Flower Edition-ish. So I don't want to seem like I'm being overly negative or anything like that, but that does give me a little bit of trepidation. Obviously though, we have no note breakdown right now, so I can't really delve into what it could or could not smell like. Just based off that name, I'm wondering how hard they're leaning into the floral aspect of that line. So you guys let me know what you think about that, what the potential is for this fragrance. Are you excited for it the same way that you were for Paradise Garden or Le Beau Le Parfum? Or is it that when you see a floral name at the end of a flanker, do you just tune out? Let me know what you think. Next, let's really quickly hit that Narciso Rodriguez. It's called For Him Musc Santal. And I do want to say, when it comes to how many fragrances come out nowadays and flanker names and things like that, I think this is not really the best way to go. And I'm not saying the fragrance is gonna be bad, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that I think a lot of times when you just toss a couple of notes onto the end of a flanker name, a lot of people aren't really enticed by that. So when you just go, oh, musk, Santal, people kind of vibe off that and they go, they didn't really care too much for this one, huh? At least that's kind of my thought process, right? Because if you go into a store and you have a whole bunch of fragrances lined up from a fragrance house, a fragrance line, and they don't give them much identity outside of like Blue Noir Parfum, Musc Santal, Musc Vetiver, you know, stuff like that. A lot of people will just write it off without even giving it a chance. And a lot of times they're really, really good, but people are never gonna know. Discover the modern masculinity of For Him Musc Santal Eau de Parfum Intense. It just kept going. I was like, wait, I thought it was just Musc Santal. This is the new addictive fragrance for men by Narciso Rodriguez, a duality from Slipknot, in which assertive confidence contrasts with sensitive authenticity for the man who attracts with the quiet power of his natural charisma, like Slipknot. A magnetic, woody, musky fragrance for men. For this vegan, woody, musky fragrance, the perfumer has crafted a sensual scent structured around paradoxical musk. I know every time I'm after a fragrance, I'm like, if this just had paradoxical musk, it would be perfect. Hell yeah. Top notes of clary, sage, and juniper open the perfume with a clean blast of freshness. At the core, the iconic Narciso Rodriguez Heart of Musk signature reveals its powerful character emanating with irresistible attraction. Warm notes of cedarwood and sandalwood add a contrasting woody depth at the base, an elusive fragrance filled with harmonious tension. So clary, sage, juniper, musk, cedar, and sandalwood. Not for nothing, but that note breakdown, this is the worst. It's okay. It kind of screams out to you though, doesn't it? It screams out to you aromatic, classy, slightly dated smelling most likely, woody. So it comes across like that type of fragrance that's going to appeal to somebody looking for something that they could wear to the office. That could work also as a kind of in between fragrance between daytime and evening. You know, that type of scent profile that has a nice, somewhat clean sheen to it, but then also is not leaning into like the current hyper fresh, sweet, kind of clean floral or overdosed vanilla scent profile. I'll still scoop it up. I'm still gonna check it out. There are a lot of Narciso Rodriguez fragrances that slap. So this one could be low-key really good. It's just they're not necessarily doing themselves any favors in terms of making it sound exciting, which to be fair, they're kind of not in the business of that, so fair play. All right guys, last fragrance, Forever Wanted Absolu by Azzaro. In terms of the bottle, just from the media photos, it looks like they took the gold top from Forever Wanted Elixir and then took the bottom of the Most Wanted Parfum and they just went, nice, new. Discover Azzaro Forever Wanted Absolu, a daring composition for men who live passionately and who leave an indelible impression. Their perfume, an addictive trail that leaves no one unmoved. Azzaro proudly presents Forever Wanted Absolu, a captivating fragrance composition where deep amber and woody notes blend with the vibrant intensity. I love how they do that. Deep amber, woody notes, amber woody. At some point, these fragrance brands were doing write-ups for their new fragrances and they were like, amber woods, amber woods, amber woody. The smoky allure of incense merges seamlessly with the warm sensuality of vanilla and whiskey, resulting in an unforgettable and addictive trail that lingers for 24 hours. Holy crap. Bros, we are at the precipice. Things have progressed to the point that fragrance brands, they know that there are just some unchained beasts out there who demand 24-hour longevity. And they're leaning into it. People are gonna start being like, this one only lasts 26 hours. Pathetic. I want it to sear through my skin. I want scars. I wanna look like Two-Face. I'm Harvey Dent. I need it. Half my face is melted off. I want that kind of power. And these brands are gonna be like, oh my God. Okay, this one's made for 48 hours. Is that good enough? No, I want it to be in my bloodstream. If I'm cut, I want to smell the fragrance. So no breakdown, you know, they're doing that Azzaro thing, hitting us with 3 notes because they think that we're infants and that if you have more than 3 notes, you'll get confused. So those 3 notes, captivating incense, animalic vanilla, and ambery whiskey accord. Obviously, they do say deep amber and woody notes as well in the write-up. So I'm assuming we can add those notes in there as well and make it more than 3 notes. And even though this note breakdown is only hitting us with a few notes, I'm hyped for this. When designer fragrance brands can correctly do a fragrance that utilizes a whiskey accord, that's something I just really have a hard time saying no to. And you're gonna hit me with the incense, you're gonna hit me with the vanilla on top, animalic vanilla? Sign me up. Especially considering how good most of the Azzaro Wanted fragrances have been here of late, for the most part. And then they're ramping it up to 24-hour performance because they're, I guess, competing with Stronger With You powerfully. Forever Wanted Absolu sounds great. And this is one of those times where honestly, everything I've talked about, I want right now. Even the Narciso, as much as I was throwing some fake shade at that one. But I need you guys to let me know what you're most excited about. The new Stronger With Yous, the new Le Beau, the new Forever Wanted, the new Acqua di Gio, the new Narciso. Let me know. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.